Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to my YAHAWAH who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakub coming at you with another lesson. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, thy paths. All right, so today's lesson is going to be about trusting in the Lord, okay, as well as making that differentiation and separating ourselves. Actually, let me get that as well, and separating ourselves from not just the world, all right, not just the world, but the mindset of the world, all right, because there's no way that we can be in this truth, and we can and a woman of the Lord, a man of the Lord can be a feminist, can be an egalitarian, can be whatever. All right, if you follow any of these mindsets, all right, like you're just going off, and you're not in the right mindset, because you might say, oh yeah, I'm not sinning, I'm not doing anything that's going off, but the fact that you think that freaking women are equal to men, or any of these mindsets that these Babylonians coined and labeled as some sort of thought, new age thought process, then you're going off, because that's not what the Lord set up. The Lord set up a bunch of things, and for anyone to go against it, then you're just plain and simple, you're going off. All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. All right. So this is the thing. We need to separate ourselves. This is why it's very important to separate ourselves from a slack. Even then, that's another one. We also need to separate ourselves from people that don't have the same as us. Okay. Mark them. Romans chapter 16, verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Okay, let me also get this one. Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? All right, so this is the thing. This is the importance. And so that's another thing. Like, you really can't, for the most part, I don't think I think it's just a matter of fact that no other camp really goes into this, okay, because this is very important. All right, how are you gonna have someone that doesn't believe in the same thing as you? And this is not even the topic of the video. Slakia, it's not even the topic of the video for real, like that. But it is an important thing, an important realization that I've made, that we really cannot just be a part of it. And that's Slakia, that's the thing. Like, I was more so talking. I really wanted to talk about separating ourselves from the mindset of Babylonians, okay? Because yes, we have to interact with certain people, because we're in captivity. We don't own anything. We won't be able to own anything. But at the same time, it really does apply to the same thing. That's the spirit. That's the spirit through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. Okay, that's the spirit. So basically, what I really wanted to go into is that as we are going through stuff, yes, we need to separate ourselves, but at the same time, I guess we're going to be talking about both things today. Okay, so number one, separating ourselves from people that that follow strange doctrine, as well as trusting in the Lord. All right, so the thing is, number one, the first thing, trusting the Lord. We need to going to be hard. Things are going to become problematic, okay, for us. But the thing is, as time goes on, we just need to have faith that the Lord is going to protect us. All right, and we have faith. It's lucky we have faith. And for example, like, let me get this, Job chapter 2 verse 10. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What, shall we receive good at the hand of Yahweh, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips? Okay, so the thing is, there are going to be, hardships, trials, and tribulations that happen to us, but we need to have faith that everything's going to be all right. You're gonna have, that's what I read in Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3. Verse 5, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and with all, and acknowledge him, he shall direct thy paths. Okay, trust in the Lord and lean not into thy own understanding. You might say, for example, that, oh, I have to avoid this pitfall. There's a trap hole, whatever, that I'm gonna fall into. I really need to avoid that. Okay, and then let's say you fall into that trap hole, not because you intentionally meant to jump into it, but just because you weren't paying attention and you just fell. Now you have a bit of a sprained ankle or something like that. You're in a little bit of pain. All right, so yeah, you're in a minorly inconvenient scenario. But then guess what probably would have happened if you didn't fall in that pitfall? You probably would have been hurt even worse. There was going to be someone, troops that were going to, gun you down or something like that if you didn't fall. But then after a while, as you're trying to climb up, the troops, they left. Okay, but you fell in that pitfall, and they didn't bother to check. They just gunned down everyone else that was, in the surrounding areas. But because you fell down and they didn't see you, they didn't, for whatever the reason, just as a random example, because this applies into everything. Because there's also the thing of say, for example, you take the same path home every day from work, all right, and then one day out of nowhere, the Lord makes it so that you take another path, okay, and that the reason why is because the Lord put it in your spirit to avoid trouble, because there was someone that was waiting for you, or there was something that was going to happen if you were taking the normal path to get home. All right, and that's the spirit. This is the Lord protecting you. This for Israel, all right, things are not easy for Israel, even right now, okay, especially with all the prices, sorry, not the prices, the cost of living going up, okay, it is not easy. I'm telling you that right now, okay, so we have faith, we have patience, we trust that everything's going to be all right, and we're going to get, and that we are going to get through it, okay, through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH and His. We call upon the name of the Lord, YAHAWAH and His, and ask Him to protect us. All right. And again, like you just never know. Okay? That's why when we hear of all these wars and rumors of wars, plagues and pestilences, whatever. Okay, we rejoice in them. Okay, because we know what they mean, because we're spiritual. When we're spiritual, we see things differently. Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And it's this ties in perfectly. Okay, so first things first. Okay, when we being spiritual, when we see the signs of heaven, okay, what are the signs of heaven? It's when all these things are happening, all these problems are happening, the wars, rumors of wars, plagues, pestilences, earthquakes, whatever, okay, when all these things are happening, then being spiritual, we recognize and we see, yes, this is a good thing for us, because that means we're that much closer to deliverance. That means we're that much closer to the end of Babylon, all right? Whereas now, for those people that are in the Babylonian mindset, which is why this is the perfect scripture to tie them in together. For the people that are in the Babylonian mindset, for the people that don't follow doctrine, the people that are not like-minded individuals, all right, they are following the ways of the heathen, be they actual heathens, or Israelites that follow after that follow after a heathenistic mindset. All right, this is why it says not to learn the way of the heathen, because ultimately it corrupts our mind. All right, and it makes us think a certain way. And this is what we're supposed to separate. This is why we're supposed to separate ourselves from these types of people, because we can't be separating. We cannot be fellowshipping, going arm in arm with a bunch of freaking hell doctrine Christians. What's the other one? Muslims, whatever. Okay, we can't. We at the end of the day, we truly cannot. Okay, and we read it in Amos 3 verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? All right. Where is it? Okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 17. Be ye separate. Okay, separate. Touch not the unclean thing. Okay, we can't be touching spiritually. These unclean people following after unclean ways. Okay. Next, John chapter 15 verse 19. If ye were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And this is the thing, because we're not a part of the world. It's because we're not in that Babylonian mindset. We're not wicked. That the wicked don't like the righteous, because it shows them just how wrong they are. That shows, it's like we're declaring YAHAWASHI said to do this. Okay, and especially for Christians primarily, but also for atheists and whatever as well. The thing is, when they hear these types of stuff, when they hear that you cannot do it, honestly, I'll just say initially, I thought, why do people get so mad that people say you can't do this, you can't do that, and there are people that genuinely get actually mad. They get violent and stuff like that. It's a disgusting sight to see. But the truth about it is that it goes against what they've been taught and raised up to believe. Okay, which is that you don't need discipline, you don't need self-control, you don't need to have a proper rule set and mindset to follow. You just need to do what you want to do. You just need to do what makes you feel, what makes you happy or makes you feel good. Okay, following, and this again, that goes back into lust. Let's actually get that. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 3. But for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves ears. And the thing is, lust isn't just sexual. It's anything that someone desires. Okay, and that's the thing. Well, ironically, I'm about to use a sexual example, but the alphabet stuff. Okay, so that's the people, you tell them you're not allowed to do this. You tell them you can't do this, but they say love is love and they don't care. All right, so bear with me one moment. Their own lusts, doing after your own lusts, as I was saying. So the same way that the alphabet people, they don't care about, they say love is love. They want to go after the person, thing, whatever, that makes them the happiest, quote unquote. And when someone tells them, this, that, and the third or whatever. And I also heard that there was a study done that most gay people are from what's it called, sexual assault victims when they were kids or something like that. So yeah, anyway, so there is that, but outside of that, it's just that that's fucked up. Slocky. Anyway, the main thing is the fact that they don't care about having that self-control, that discipline, okay, to say, what, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna abstain from this. All right, but instead it's just, what, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and and deny YAHAWASHI. Okay, so you can't expect Slakia, expect the Lord to be okay with you just straight up denying him. All right, denying the Lord. But at the same time, Proverbs 20 verse 24, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? Okay, man. So all the things that people choose to do, all the things that people have done, okay, at the end of the day, it is because the Lord is not dealing with these people. All right, let me get this. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, it's the same way that they want to fall after their own lust. That's the result of them believing the lie that they were taught and still holding on to that lie, even when they are being told the truth, which is heavy, very heavy, by the way. Even when they are being told the truth, okay, you break stuff down in the simplest of ways for someone. All right, they still hate you. They still are trying to combat you. They're still fighting against you. Okay, they don't care that the truth is factually and undisputable. Okay, they just want to do what they want to do, and that is a sad reality of things. Okay, not necessarily sad reality of things, but that's the reality of things. That doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or how simplistic you make it. Because this is the thing, all right? Because when I remember, before I, finally stuck to GMS, I wanted to, be that person to, debate a bunch of people, talk all this stuff and, ridicule people. But the thing is, it came to the point where even though I broke it down to the simplest of forms, because this is the thing. Like I don't think that I am like super smart or like genius level intellect or anything like that. I think that I'm able to understand some complex things, and I'm able to break them down to simpler degrees. Okay, that's it. And the thing is, when I break things down and make them as simple as I possibly can, it's like as simple as I possibly can, then still people they just don't want to accept it, or they're lying to themselves. Well, that's the same thing. They're lying to themselves. Accept it. They still have. They just they're deflecting. Okay, they're trying to change the subject, change the goalposts, instead of just being honest and just acknowledging that their way of thinking, that what they've come to is wrong. The conclusion that they've come to is wrong. Okay, and the crazy thing is even when I was that young, I don't know how young in the truth. I was a baby in the truth, a toddler, whatever you want to call it, a kid. Okay. Even when I was that young in the truth, I still was able to, at the end of the day, prove my point and make it and keep it simple. Okay, keep it at the most baseline of levels, and they still can't take it. And you know what? Like at the end of the day, that's the delusion that the Lord put on these people, and that just goes to show, that the Lord is not dealing with some of these people. Okay, let's get this. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And this is the mindset of the Babylonians. Okay, they take after Esau. Esau being the most profane person. Let's get that. The definition of this: profane, relating or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical, secular rather than religious. Okay, so someone that is just completely non-spiritual, carnal. All right, and this is the truth of the matter. There's no going against it. This is undisputable. Okay, undisputable. Okay, like these the Babylonians. Okay, they take after Esau. They being carnal, wanting to do what they want to do, and Esau's the one that's teaching these people. Which, by the way, it's like Esau's the one that's teaching these people to, do what you want to do. Don't worry about anyone or anything else. It's just as long as you follow what you want to do. All right, and this also makes me, side note, this is just like kind of bit off topic, but it's still a bit applicable. One thing I do notice is that if you look at, because I think what's her name, one of the Jake celebrities pointed it out. I think it was Cat Williams or maybe whatever. Anyway, the thing is, when you are a so-called black comedian, okay, when you are a so-called black comedian, you have to humiliate yourself in order to be well liked. Whereas for these Edomite comedians, okay, they don't really need to. They're able to just be good and sell their craft, and people will love them. People will buy them, follow after them, do all this stuff with them / for them or whatever. But for the Israelites, they have to humiliate themselves. And in addition to that, the reason why I have a problem, and this is also with the whole Dave Chappelle dress thing, Cat Williams dress thing, Martin Lawrence dress, all this stuff, the whole dress thing. Israel has to humiliate themselves, whereas Edomites, they don't need to. So someone was talking about the thing with how what was it called? Oh yeah, the masculinity thing. So the masculinity is only ever in question when it's a so-called Israelite man, but when it's a Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or whatever, it's just like they're able to be that strong man, okay, not a strong white man or a strong black man, but they're just able to be a strong man, and there's no, oh, well, he's kind of, gay, he's kind of this, he's kind of that, or whatever. It's just, he's just a strong man, all right? But then you get these other people, okay, Martin Lawrence, freaking, with multiple Big Mama houses, Brandon T. Jackson, not as much. What's funny? Like, I saw a bunch of them that had done it. The guy that played Santa Claus in Friday After Next. I don't know. There's a bunch of people that just wore dresses, and the thing about that is it just goes to show, like, what they want, what they really want, what their actual aim is. Okay, and I will say, I'm not trying to make anyone think that this is a topic to actually follow through in. It's just kind of there, but, and also at the end of the day, none of these celebrities are for the most part gonna be saved. Cat Williams, he's not really given too much information, and that is the problem. All right, anyway, in addition to that, I also want to point out that a lot of times these are the things that appeals to Babylonians, and I don't know, like, I initially, I guess I didn't really understand it, but Babylonians, they really love it when Jake humiliates himself, okay? And funnily enough, actually, in addition to that, they love it when a non Edomite person humiliates himself, because another ethnicity, Moab or Ammon, whichever, one of the two, they were complaining, saying that they hate hearing, let me get this, it was oops, wrong one. All right, let me get this out right quick. Bear with me one moment, because I actually saw this video and I thought it was interesting, but at the same time, it does call into question, which I'm actually now able to realize that, the real meaning behind it, the real purpose behind it, okay, which was, again, humiliating non-Edomite people.
This is Nigel on. Hey guys,
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna link the video. In the description. Basically, he goes into talking about how this guy, Uncle Raw, who his name is Nigel On, but he names himself Uncle Roger on YouTube, and he does an exaggerated Asian accent. Okay, just as this Stephen O'Brien, whatever, dude, they both do exaggerated Asian. All right, in order to make Edomites laugh, or not even Edomites, Slakia, that's not the thing. Not Edomites, but Babylonians, okay? And this ties into the same thing. You are making a fool out of yourself as well as your people in order for the Babylonians to like you, okay? And this, okay, honestly, this is Slakia. This is a very powerful thing that you really definitely need to look into this. I definitely need to look more into this. Maybe I'm gonna do a follow-up lesson, maybe not, or I'll put it all in here. Basically, what happened is he's saying that people are doing the squinty eyes things to him, okay, or he's doing the squinty eyes and saying, oh, talk like this, talk like that, all right, and the people, the regular Asian people, are getting bullied as a result of people's preconceived racism and perception of Asian people from people like him. All right, and that's the thing, that in that same sense, all right, it applies to us as well. This is why I felt I definitely had to watch this video. 6 minutes, by the way, not a long video, but I definitely had to watch this video. I definitely felt that this video was very important, because this is the same thing. Take over exaggerated accent to the so-called black men wearing dresses. That's the same thing that they expect of us. They expect, okay, so if we want to clown on Jake, and then we also want Jake to be a freaking, you know what, a cigarette butt. I think that's what it's called. All right, like it's crazy. And this is the thing. This is that's the beautiful. Fuck it. I'm calling my YAHAWAH. I was able to have that video, watch that video and share it here, because I would have been pissed if I didn't incorporate this in this lesson, because this it fits so perfectly. All right, it fits so perfectly. Anyway, so yeah, basically, we got the main takeaway, or the conclusion of it, is just the fact that we as Israelites, okay, we're oftentimes humiliated, okay, we're the butt of the joke, okay, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, whatever metaphor, phrase, whatever you want to call it. And the thing is that we can't be partaking in this type of we can't be partaking in this type of in these types of actions, okay? So number one, like, we need to have some self-respect, we need to have some self-control, we need to have some discipline. All right, we can't be we can't be just going on and saying like, oh yeah, this type of stuff is fine. The what's it called? The celebrities that wear the dress, the so-called black celebrities that wear dresses, that humiliate themselves, that think that it's all fine. It's not fine, because you are causing a bigger issue for us at the end of the day. And they're selling their manhood for, they're humiliating themselves for money, whereas when it does that trickle down effect, or whatever you want to call it, okay, where it affects us as black men, then people will look at us in a negative light, thinking like, oh, okay, so now what that means that you're just the negative association of you're either a thug or some fruit cup. All right, like obviously that is an exaggeration, obviously, but the point still stands. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give to YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, KRAKWADASH, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Abad Ball and Shalom.